All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. What's up, man? I'm Jamal Smallz, your host for the WGCI Music Summit. Welcome. This panel is called Making a Mixtape, presented by Remy Martin. Team Up for Excellence. We got the actual mixtape. It's up live right now on iHeartRadio. You can go check that out. Of course, after the panel, I got two of dopest DJs in Chicago, DJ Sean Mack and DJ VDub, that's going to talk to you tonight. We got a lot of questions. We're going to take some Q&A from you. You can put it in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll get to those questions afterwards. But we want to just start off. First of all, Sean Mack, VDub, thank you guys for being on the panel.
Of course. You already know what it is.
In Chicago, you know, as everybody starts coming in, you know, we appreciate you guys being here. Tonight, the panel is all about the mixtape. All right, we're going to be discussing how to get your music played on the radio. We're going to talk about mixtapes. We're going to talk about, you know, just marketing and introducing yourself to DJs, how you could be successful in that area, how you can get your music recognized by some of our monster DJs right here in Chicago. What you guys are looking for when selecting records, what DJs are looking for. And like I said, if you got questions or anything like that, just put it in the chat. This question right here is for, we'll go ahead and get started. This question is for either of you can answer this, for the DJs. When you are selecting a record that you want to support, how do you go about doing that? What's some of the things that you look for? We can start off with VDub.
Well, I mean, you know, I listen to it, obviously. If I like it, you know, and I know who the artist is, you know, I'm gonna reach out to the artist. And my thing is, I've always supported the artist as hard as I see them support themselves. I've way back in the day, many times, I supported, jumped out on records, and I was breaking the record harder than the artist was breaking the record. Mm-hmm. The artist wasn't, you know, he wasn't as passionate about their own song, you know what I mean? So, you know, I learned over time, you know, to, I'm not gonna move like a snail, but if I like a record, I'll let artists know, I think you got a hot record. I think you should push this record. I think you should put some money behind this record, promo, get the record out, you know, and now, you know, obviously we got social media, you know, I started before the internet, but now you can get on your own platform and promote, and that's even better for me because now now I could just peep you. I can see from your own social media page if you pushing your own music or not.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that's the key for me is you got a hot record, I tell you it's hot, then the plan B is I watch you move. You know what I mean? I'm only gonna break it as hard as you breaking it too.
What are some of the challenges that you think some of the artists that you wanted to support, but you may have seen that they weren't moving as much as you were? Like, what were some of the challenges that they were having, and how did you address that? Or did you?
Yeah, well, for me, most of the artists that I, you know, were privy to support and everything back in the day, you know, they had one foot in the music and they had one foot in the street.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, the majority of them, they couldn't sometimes let go of their foot that was in the street and just do the music full time. And then some of them didn't understand the capacity of how much you got to do consistent wise, you know. Yeah. And so, you know, if you're not recording and cutting records all the time, you kind of like, you making that harder for yourself to get out here, you know, because you got to record enough. If making a hit record was easy, LL Cool J would still be hot. Wu-Tang Clan would still be together, and Ludacris would still be the man. You understand? So you got to record a lot, follow it up with a lot of promo, but you got to leave something alone. You know, if it's something negative going on out there, you got to completely leave it alone. You know, and that was the thing that caught up a lot of artists that I supported back in the day. Yeah. You know, and then not having enough quality music to keep being promoted. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sean, same question for you. You know, how do you select the?
I'm in the, you know, I'm in the clubs real heavy, and I hear a lot of things firsthand that are bubbling in the streets from not only younger DJs, but from the crowd and from the audiences, different things like that. But at the same time, it's like when somebody sends me a song, it depends. Like a song is gonna do, like VDub said, if you're working hard to get your record popping with your team, with your community, with your crew, with whoever that you have behind you supporting you, we'll see it. You know what I mean? We'll recognize that. We'll peep that. And a record normally works for itself because there's only so much that a DJ can really do. Regardless of how hard we go for a record, it's like, but it's all about if the record is organically good. I'll keep putting it in your face and letting you know that I'm in the club breaking this thing from here all over the world. I'm hitting up Jamal and talking to him and asking him about dropping the joint and mix show or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to get as much momentum going as possible, but on the same time, like Dub say again, they got to be working hard for themselves as well. I see that like cats that come in and like, man, gee, I got a record. I have a great record, and it don't go nowhere because they're not utilizing social media the way you really can. Because again, Dub said we started. I was in a mixtape scene heavy before we was doing real social media though. I think it might have still been MySpace, and it was like all we had was the mixtape blogs, and we was dropping mixtapes in stores and trying to contact magazines and to get our mixtapes in the magazines directly. It was just crazy. It was a more organic, hands-on process versus now you got so many different platforms right now. You can really, take advantage of all of this, you know what I'm saying? And get everybody familiar. But again, just getting the record to me, I got a number one organically like the record in order for me to move on it, you know what I mean? And everything else just kind of falls into place if everybody doing their part, you know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about artists approaching you in the club with their music?
There's a way to do that. And I can't speak for all DJs. I can only speak for myself. Today, cats are just like, hey, play the song. It's on my phone. It's like, man, G, play this. Come on, it's right here. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And it's like, here's my thing. Do your research and find out what DJs are playing in what club before you go. Try to contact it if you can. Try to get in touch with the DJ. Just to say, yo, I was coming out tonight. I got a record that I want to woo. Maybe you can email it to me or something like that. You got airdrop, but I'm not going to focus on, I'm rocking 400 people. I got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? This is a real serious business, and sometimes it's just, and now the easier thing for me throughout my career for when artists approach me with their records was on a jump drive. That was the fastest way to grab a record. That was just the fastest way. I always would tell people, yo, fam, you can't come in here with a phone on YouTube, with a song on YouTube.
Yeah.
Come with a jump drive. Keep the jump drive on your keys like your car, like a car key. Don't ever take it off. When you got new records that you might have recorded and you feel like it's gonna pop off in the club and you see VDub, you stepped in with a jump drive. That's a much easier process to getting a record. And that's only if you feel like doing that. But on the flip side, they come in with a phone and YouTube, and I'm like, yo, if you keep a jump drive with you, that can at least get you halfway through the process of me dropping this record in the club. Yeah. And like I said, again, but I personally like to know what records are like when I'm in the crib, I'm in the studio, and I like to hear those songs and check those records out and understand, yeah, I can drop this tonight, or I can, So again, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Dub, you feel what I'm saying, right, Dub?
Yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm different. So like for me, all the artists are like my kids to me now. So okay. I'm really at a place where I'm trying to force you to do everything really the right way. So the whole approach to DJ thing now in the club, I don't even want the jump drive no more. The reason why is I want artists to go back to the right way, which is building relationships with DJs. before you get to the club. So it's one of those things where come to the club for me, find out who I am, get my name, if you know that already,
Right.
get my number and ask me for an email, you know, because
Right.
I'm really rocking, you know, at a club.
Right.
It's not time for me to put in something that I've never heard
Right.
and try to listen to it and then decide where I'm going to fit it and what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line is I'd rather for artists to get back to building relationships before the club. You know, you should have, I always tell artists this, any city you in, you know, Chicago's pretty humongous, but I'm still going to keep it at 10. Every city, any artist in every city should have 10 DJs on speed dial, knowing their name, their number, try to know the clubs they DJ at, but more importantly, their email. You know, that way you can comfortably hit 10 solid DJs in your city and always get them to try to critique your music beforehand, before you go out and just be wild in the streets like, man, bro, let me pay you to play this right quick, man. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go crazy. No, they're not. Right? That's over with. Stop all that foolishness. So I just want to get people back to doing it the right way. Build the relationships with the DJs before you get there, and you'll have upper hand with other artists in your city, because these other artists just run around. You know, they hit me in my DM, less work. I hit them right back like, what's up? My name is such and such. VDub, may I send you some music and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always trying to correct the artist now, man. So, you know, that approach in the club thing, you know, do the approach before the club.
That's all I'm saying.
And this is good because, you know, there's different styles and different preferences. And so that's the importance of reaching out to different DJs.
Yeah. I like a real ghetto type of situation in my DJ booth. So I really like my DJ booth to be like really just ridiculous. I like a crowded DJ booth. I like people, women all around me while I'm DJing, acting a fool. I don't want to take time out for you. I'm being real. I love excitement in my DJ booth. So
doing it all at the club is too much.
Now this is good. This is good. So we like I want to stay right here for a second. Our artists are not DJs, so we can't expect them to know what we know. So I want y'all to touch on this point that you're making right here, because it's a big one. 5 records ahead. What's going on in your thought process when you're in the hot hour? Like, explain that to an artist that just assume they don't know why you may respond the way you respond when they approach you during the hot hour. Everybody's ready. You dropping the first 3-4 records, and here they come. You about to drop that next record, and they like, you know what I'm saying? Why they may get that pause, you know, but explain that. We know.
My rule is simple. My rule is very, very simple. It's been the same rule. I've been DJ, I think it's 36 years now in Chicago. The women in the club, for me, are way more important than you. Period. Not taking no risk on you, player, or you, sister. The women in that club that are enjoying themselves because of every record that I choose, you are taking a backseat to them every day that I DJ.
Why? Explain that.
Because they paid to get in. I'm still an old school DJ. I feel like I'm still entertaining while I DJ.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just jukeboxes playing records at this point. But I still try to when I DJ, I like to make sure I don't sound like who was before me, and pretty much there ain't nobody coming after me. But I'm in an entertainment aspect. People paid to get in there. They paid to have a good time. You might be taking somebody's mind away from something they're stressed out about. You know what I mean? So before I break a record, I want to hear the record at home. You know what I mean? But trust and believe. Let me tell every artist that's on here, if I hear your record before I get to the club and I do think it's that hot, I will play it prime time. But it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be mediocre. It's not gonna be a 5. It's gonna be an 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girls and the women in the club are the most important element to everything that's going on. The second most important thing that's element that's going on today is the tables that spend all this money while we rocking, and the tables that come in there to have a great time. We're talking about 50K and table sales, that these people, they're not coming here to do anything outside of hear their favorite songs, dancing, having a good time, drinking, kicking it. Again, I've had tons of records that fit the aesthetic of what was going on at that time, and I was able to rock that boy, and it was like it went up the same way exactly as a mainstream record. But I critiqued that record before I knew what that record was. You know what I'm saying? I remember getting the Spenzo record when I first got Wifer, when I got that record and dropped that record in the club. I knew that record was gonna work. And this was way before. This is when I was moving around with LEP and doing a bunch of. It was like when he started surfing that, he'd say this record is gonna work. But I knew that. And sometimes us DJs know that, and sometimes we actually need to do some homework and on you as an artist, and to understand and hear these songs at home and understand how these records can work inside of your set. Again, Dub ain't lying. He'll drop a record at 1 a.m. You know what I'm saying? If it's an independent artist record, he'll drop it at 1. But it gotta make sense. It gotta be right. It gotta be done properly, and he has to know the record, completely know the record. And again, like I say, the women, everybody know that I do this. When I'm rocking clubs and doing all this, I do this for women. I ain't like, that's just my whole. That's just what it's been. So I'm not taking like 70% of my set ain't even trap music anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's just yeah, it has to make sense. And you gotta, again, like I say, I try to have that speech with an artist real quick, like a 10-second powwow with them every time they do that. Then so they can walk away with a vital piece of information, knowing how to come back and approach me the next time. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And I
Going in and out, Jamal?
Jamal.
You still hear me, Matt?
I hear you, Doug. The small freeze?
Yeah, I think he froze.
He froze.
He about to get back on.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But I guess we could tap into another aspect of it. Dub, sometimes artists come not only with their music, but they come with money.
Yeah.
Where
you
at? Where you at with that?
Well, I'm a gift and a curse.
Right.
So the story with me is, from the very first time I got on radio, oh, you back, Jamal? Coming in? Jamal, you there?
Jamal is back.
He's coming in.
I don't hear him though.
I don't know what that was, but
there you go. Hey, Mac, just because you blanked out, he just brought up, what do you do about the artists that come with money? And I was just getting ready to explain.
Okay.
So my aspect for me, I've been on GCI 20 years now. And 20 years ago when I got on GCI, I had made this personal statement to myself. The reason why I got on GCI is because of Chicago. Chicago clubs, party goers, Mike Love, the Diz, Craig Morton, they were very passionate in promoting to the people that were ahead of GCI at that time, put me on the radio. So when I got on radio, it was like, I felt like Chicago put me on radio. So I said, I got to put Chicago on the radio. So to this day, no Chicago artist has ever paid me to be heard on GCI in the mix or in the club. Now that was a just personal thing that I decided to do. It was my way of giving back. So to this day, people that in the club try to give me money, I'd be like, man, put your money up, man. you know, and everybody know, you know, I don't really drink or nothing like that. So they, you know, they can't do that aspect. I'd be like, man, put that money behind something else. You know
I asked that. Yeah, right. I had asked that because I don't take money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really know.
Yeah, I don't not
But here's the funny
take
part.
the money from the strippers. I take the strippers. No, I do. I know because you gotta
You take the
understand.
money from the strippers, but
Yeah,
hey, look. It's funny because
yeah, that's a
funny
different.
because
They're tipping you because of what you plan for them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's a different. They you know,
the
totally
funny
different.
thing is that a lot of DJs do take money.
Oh, wait.
Like it's almost like it's almost a thing now. Like I've seen, you know, I've seen a couple little homies turn it into a business, like $100 a song. It's like
a thing now.
it's like, but where are we getting? Where are we go? I just feel strongly about that, about organically liking a record and just kind of dropping that joint because I want to drop the joint because it's amazing. I'm just not, I don't know. I've never been a believer in just taking money from cats because it's not doing nothing for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it comes back for me. It's just like if you really like music, first of all, if you DJing because you love music,
yeah,
then that's a different situation. You know,
right.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of DJs that are DJing because they like the fame, they like what comes with it, they like the accolades that come with it, and that's why they became a DJ.
Right.
So it's just a different beast right now, man. You know what I mean? I'm a DJ that came from the dance floor. You know, I danced all night long. So I gravitated to DJing from the dance floor, my love of house music. So I'm just, you know I'm an old dinosaur, but it's still a different vibe for me. You know what I mean? I appreciate any local artist that makes a big hit record. And I love playing it for them.
Yeah.
You know?
What type of advice would you give an artist who's trying to get their music heard and they may not know of another way other than, you know, like usually when somebody just like, I want to just pay you, that means that they stop being creative. You know, they stop figuring out ways to get that goal taken care of. Right. They just feel like, well, if I just pay you, then you just play it and, you know, there's no more negotiation.
Well, you know what? I could answer about what happens in my DM quite a bit with local artists. They hit me. You know, he just flat out hit you. Duh, what it takes for me to get heard, these spans, ooh, and I literally I just break it down for them. I'd be like, yo, listen to me. You have 1,462 followers. 100 of them followers is your family and all the cousins on your mama's side. Mm-hmm. You telling me you want to pay to be heard like on radio for at any given time on a station as big as ours, over 100,000 people that don't know your name, don't know who you are. If the record was played, they wouldn't be able to attach a face with a name. None of that. So I tell artists, I spin them right back to the club. Put this in the club. When your record is playing in the club, when you're at home sleep, you have a hit.
Because other DJs, he's right, because other DJs are going to follow suit. If I've dropped plenty of records, but I've dropped plenty of records with
breaking it. It's a popularity contest now with the DJs. The
it's
DJs,
because I've dropped records and cats was like, what is this? And they just didn't know. And it's just like, I'm like, yo, this woo-up the bam, this woo-up the wop, this that shit. Boom. Yeah. And when people and that's another sign of you know, just to indicate that, damn, people fucking with this record the way I'm fucking with this record. You know what I mean? Like the crowd gonna tell you, people gonna tell you, the fans are gonna tell you, other DJs are gonna ask for it. It's
to the point where, you know, women come to you, play track number 4 off what's the name mixtape.
Yeah.
They don't know the name of it. They be like, play track number 4 off. And you really better have it. And let me tell you something, as a DJ, when you don't have it, you break your neck either that night when you get home or the next day to get it. Yeah. Because if a woman came up to you and requested anything that from a male artist, female artist, it's your job to have what you need. It's hot, you know. So I just tell artists, hey, put your money up and put it behind your promo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your social media platform is what Fake Shore Drive used to be. Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense?
If they know what Fake Shore Drive is.
Right. Well, at any rate, there was a time before Say Cheese and all this stuff was big on the social media platform. When it was the internet platform, you were begging to get on a Fake Show Drive or some of the other older websites back then.
Yeah.
But now your own personal page, profile page, is really the old version of what we had to do with websites. So if you build up your own page with some steam and popularity, you got your own follower. I always tell artists this: if you got 50,000 followers and you tell them tomorrow I'm dropping a single 12 noon on Spotify, this, that, and the third, you might actually get 15,000 people to go buy that for 99 cents. You just made money because you made an announcement on your page that's full of enough followers for you to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to get all artists to really realize that, these times, these days, just like us back in the day, we used to get vinyl and used to have to put up posters and all, rap vehicles. That's over with. Now, your Instagram page, your TikTok and all this other stuff, that's the new home of where you break your own self for the free 99.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put money behind that promo to make it look spectacular, there are chances that you're going to break quicker. So the money you offering DJs, put it behind the promo. Back in the day, the Midwest mixtape bully. It was that for a reason. I did mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, but we were spending money. We were pressing up 5,000, 10,000 copies of a mixtape to go put out for free.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Instagram. It's just how fast can you move your thumbs? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Either you're gonna be lazy or you're gonna use your Instagram 6 times a day strategically. 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., and 12 midnight, because young folks don't go to sleep at 2 in the morning no more. But you use your social media as the world turns. There's a 9 o'clock news across the world. 12 noon is international lunch. Every woman doing anything at 12 noon is taking a break. That's an opportunity for her to be on her phone. 3 p.m. because you're looking at your phone saying to yourself, I can't wait to see what I got to do before I get out of here at 6. 6 p.m. because it's 6 o'clock news. 9 p.m. because the average person's got to go to work, back on social media right before they go to bed. So any artist that uses those 6 times a day, always posting either story or on the feed, you're going to win. Content is king. The more content you can put out on a daily basis, the closer you're going to get towards getting your popularity. If you post once a week, then I want your expectations to be once a week. Don't be coming to me talking about Dub. Man, look, I ain't seen or heard from you on social media in a month. Nobody rocking with you. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, the music game is a popularity contest now.
Yeah. We're going to be taking Q&A questions. We're going to take questions, put them in the chat. Also, you put them on the Q&A. This is the WGCI Music Summit, making the mixtape, presented by Remy Martin, VSOP, Team Up for Excellence. The mixtape is live, the Chicago greatest of all time mixtape. It's available right now on iHeartRadio. Go get that. All right, another question. What do you think is the biggest mistake that's made by artists when they're actually creating their music? Either one.
Creating?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean making the song?
Making.
Oh, trying to sound like somebody else is out. Every time. Stop that. Be who you gonna be.
Mm-hmm. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah.
Don't go after making a song like Lil Durk already made.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing is that artists go with studios that press the red button. And very few artists now are working with a producer. A producer is someone when you're in the booth and doing what you do, when they hear your mistake, when they hear your cadence is off, your flow is off, or you actually saying a verse, but the way you're saying it is not believable, a producer won't let you leave the booth. Most of the people that's getting recorded now just go into studios, they push the red button in Pro Tools. They don't stack the vocals, they don't go over stuff. So unfortunately, a lot of artists is just working with, actual studios and so-called engineers that aren't producing on them. You know, that's a big thing that people don't get. They just, you know, we, and all three of us can attest to this. There's nothing more lazy than when we get these songs and you hear the artist is off the beat.
Yeah.
And you like, how in the world did that happen?
Yeah.
Because the producer, so-called producer at the studio didn't change it. He, like, man, stop. You off beat. It should be like this.
There's a lot of ears on that.
Cats be worried about mixing more than
Yeah,
cats be worried about getting their shit mixed more than they thinking about shit.
what's my man name that had a hit record that was off beat? And it was like, it got signed and everything. Blue something.
Blueface?
Blue, who say it again?
Blueface?
Blueface?
Blueface. He was off beat like crazy.
Wow.
It's funny because Herbo made it sound good though. Herbo made it sound good though. It's, I don't know, you gotta, if you got it, you got it. But most people don't got it. So you just
Yeah. How do you think artists can get hot in their own city?
A long list, man. Start with your social media.
start with social media and getting your community.
You know, when you when you see, you gotta stay out here looking for stuff. You know, like I do an event with my coalition DJs like twice a month, and we come together and we actually listen to artists' music. You know, you need to find events like that. You know, the only thing I'm against is showcases. I don't like them. The only people that attend the showcase are the people that came there for each artist. Usually the one person in the showcase that you never see is a crowd full of DJs. So you paid your money to get on stage and there's no DJs in the room. It's all your boys from the block and your cousins, and the next artist, boys from the block and the cousins. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody get clever. They might bring in cousins of the block and 2 strippers for the stage, or parents or something. You know what I'm saying? But everybody in the building has nothing to do with breaking a record. So I tell people stay away from showcases and go to the social media and just over promote yourself and get out here in these clubs. You know what I mean? Walk up to Sean Mack and introduce yourself. You know what I mean? In the best way you can. Please don't spill no drink on nothing. You know, hey, what's up, man? What's up, Mac? My name is such. You know, I've been following you for a while, man. I wanted to know if I could get some time from you. Check out some of my music when you get time. Can I get a number?
I think my biggest issue is artists that get frustrated super fast about everything that they got going on or they don't got going on. You know, walking around with this whole thing, this entitlement, feeling like people owe you something and all that kind of, you know, BS. And it's just like, if you ain't got patience for this, and if you ain't got patience for this, bro, I feel bad, because it's like, you know, that's work consistency, just, you know, building relationships and stepping to people the right way with the right attitude, with the right vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't a vibe, you're a headache. You know, so it's just a lot of people, you know, a lot of guys, a lot of artists gotta come down with the whole rah-rah. I hear a lot of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? So I be kind of trying to, you know, and I'll be having to I'll be like, yeah, bro, yeah, we're never working together. And then I have to look at him in his face and be like, yeah, we never working together. So I just want people to just understand that, you know, your attitude is going to really carry you into the doorways that you need to unlock. And that's another part that people just ain't telling them. They just make you go to the studio, rap, make a song, make a mixtape, No, you need to be, your attitude, your head needs to be on straight, you know, and that's just super important. I've seen so many artists terminate themselves immediately in front of people that was about to change their life. And I just wanted to make sure I say that, you know.
The great attitude is definitely important. We'll take some questions from the audience. How do you work around DJs that don't want to work with you?
Well, I don't, work. I don't work with DJs.
I don't. What is? I don't understand the question.
I think they're saying, how does the artist?
Oh, the artists.
To
Well,
DJs that don't want to work with them.
There's no one DJ in our city that can hinder your career.
Right.
I mean, if 5 different DJs, if 5 of the top DJs in this city said they didn't want to work with you, are you going to quit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's your mentality and your grind and your passion. So that's crazy. Don't let one monkey don't stop no show.
No.
It's just old school, and to be honest with you, the one thing that all DJs are a sucker for is not having what's popular. And if you build your popularity up without approaching DJs, DJ is a sucker every time. If it's on the internet bubbling and young folks loving this, that, and the third, DJ is about to break his neck to look like, pretend like, try to feel like, man, I was always on this joint right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, smoke and mirrors, man. Work hard, outwork the person that told you they don't want to work with you.
Facts. Do BPMs matter to be a good club hit?
No, I mean,
Not really.
every song has a place, whether it's slow, it's fast, you can find a place for it. But
It's just gonna fit. It's just gonna fit inside of a.
We can agree that there's been a trend that kind of sucks, where it's like people, they hear what seems to be hot. Like a couple years ago, maybe like 5, 6, the popular BPM, it seemed like, was 72, 72, 72. You know what I'm saying? But then, here comes something else, 64, 64, 64. You know what I mean? And now when people start dancing again, it raises it back up to some 82s, 81s, and then, and now I'm happy about the whole Afrobeats thing and all this. So now we're back up to real dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
110 and all that. And that, for me, that's great because I only care about women. I don't. When I'm DJing, it's just the women. I don't care.
Fact.
I want them to dance anyway.
The whole set.
Yeah.
But you should make enough music to cover the BPMs. Yeah. You should make you some 6 BPMs in the 60s. You do the 70s, you do the 80s, but you also need to work with a lot of different producers. You're on the come up. There's no need on the come up to be telling me that this one producer did your whole album. Are you crazy? You should be working with, if you got the money, you should be working with whoever you can pay that gives out good production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want a quality album, you need it from different producers. Ain't no one producer. You telling me one producer is going to make your entire sound? That's like us playing the same record all night. It won't make no sense.
Which is better, singles or mixtapes for artists?
Mixtapes for me. I'm always say it.
I'm like, I feel like your body of work is super important.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for singles to be your introduction to the body of work. Focus on your body of work. Of your album, your mixtape, yeah. But I look for great records to introduce, because every great record I've ever experienced started with a song that I liked. So, and that's every, that's how I always viewed it and always received it. I just was like, yo, this record banging. I want to hear more music from this dude. Like, it was always some of that. Like if I grabbed the whole album from you, number one, I got to find time to listen to that. We're talking about a whole mixtape. So I have to make sure that I find time to sit down and listen to that project and listen to that whole thing. But singles are, okay, who's this? You know, for me.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, just because of what the mixtape did since Gucci. And I remember breaking Gucci in Chicago and people laughing at me.
Yeah.
So I'm the opposite, because the mixtapes now, if you really pay attention to your industry as artists, every artist, almost up about 10 years now, the album that the label decided to give distribution to was nothing but the artist mixtape.
Right.
So the mixtapes are bigger for me, because all those records that come up off of them, those are all the records, like, especially when the trap issue just took over, literally you were playing artists, at least 3-4 tracks from the mixtape, because the crowd was coming up to you again going, play Yo Gotti track 6 off of, play Chief Keef track 4 off of, play. So, and even bigger, the mixtapes got signed, touched them up, put them out as an album, and then them mixtape records started playing on radio.
Right.
It was like the single comes from the body of work. The single is hidden in the body of work.
See,
The only time I like the single thing, not like it, but the only time where it's like the single, usually the single only comes from R&B.
Well, the reason I say that is because when I was heavy on the mixtape scene, real heavy, I broke Dirk's first project. I'm Still a Hitter was the first project that Dirk came when L's Up, and like we were focused on a record at that time that gave a lot of attention to that project when I did Dirk's mixtape, and Dirk got signed right after that. Boom. Katie Got Bands, the same thing. Doing that project for her, I was attracted by a record, and then I guess we kind of saying the same thing, but I'm like reading the question a little bit different in my mind. I'm like, but I agree with Dub, and again, like I say, it was just a different thing when we would target records and then work on projects, or it was shit like that. For every artist it was different, but again, yeah, it was always one strong record that kind of made all the other strong records that people just didn't recognize. He was like, oh shit, he got more records. So it was like, yeah, but I agree with you, Dub. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good question. WGCI Music Summit, Making a Mixtape, presented by Remy Martin, Team Up for Excellence, Chicago greatest full-time mixtape, available on iHeartRadio. Go get that. All right, the best way. Hold on. No. Let's do this. The biggest misconception that artists have about DJs.
I don't think they have no misconception.
Right.
I think it's so many sides and things to DJs that unfortunately half the stuff that you think about them is true, and half maybe a little bit of it's not true. But I love DJing. I've been loving DJing since I was 14, 15. 1984, 85 for me. Egos as a DJ is a major problem. DJs have huge egos. You know what I mean? And for me, over the last good 10 years or more, it's through the roof. So a lot of times artists feel like DJs aren't approachable because you look at them and you feel like they Hollywood, and sometimes they are, very much so. There's a bunch that are humble. Like, I'm one of those DJs who tell you, like, I like a busy DJ booth. I like my DJ booths to be like, you shouldn't even go to church on Sunday because what's going on in the DJ booth. I'm that kind of guy, right? But I know other people that are like, they don't want you to approach them while they're DJing. So everybody is different. So that's the thing that I tell artists.
It's funny, Doug, because Six said DJs are artists too. So what do you expect? That's actually a good statement.
Yeah. So you have to. The reason why I want artists to go back to building relationships with DJs is because you got a lot of DJs that'll tell you how they are. You know what I'm saying? If you get the numbers from DJs, talk, text, you know, don't just pop up in my DM and say, let's work. I don't know you from a hole in the ground. So I'd be like, I'm a jerk. I text back, what are we working on? You know, I do that because I want to get them to do this the right way. But DJs,
they be like, hey, Mac, hit my line. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to tell artists, realize like you're okay. DJs that have already made a name for themselves over, you know, dinosaurs like me. You know, I've been doing this since 1985. Yes, a lot of people in Chicago know me or whatever. So I'm way more approachable because it's all good. But a lot of DJs are on the come up. Okay, you got DJs that still out here trying to get some fame for their name. You know what I mean? So a lot of DJs, they're fighting to just be known. They're fighting to just be able to do clubs consistently. You know, I always got this, you know, it's a funny statement. I always tell DJ, you got a lot of DJs ain't had their first threesome off DJing. So all right. So you got young cats that heard about all these
threesomes.
Yeah, you heard. I mean, you have DJs. So
hey, Dub, we need to crack this Remy open, man.
Like Jamal said, the question said about what you think about, what is it about DJs?
Misconception.
Misconception. I said that's why I said it's hard to say because half these things, you know, a lot of these people heard the DJs have done and everything. Half of it's true. Right, everything that's circulated about me is probably true. You know what I mean? I love DJ. I had a lot of fun DJing. You know, I made a lot of money too. They all went to Catholic school, but you know what I'm saying? Whatever you've heard about some DJs, it probably naturally is true. You know, but build the relationship so you can break down the barrier and stop guessing.
If an artist wanted to get a mixtape hosted, how do you think they should go about doing it?
You have to approach DJs. But I'm a mixtape stickler. There's a right and a wrong way to do a mixtape.
Yeah.
Period. And the way I do mixtapes, from beginning to end of the mixtape is my job to sell you to the listener. A lot of artists make the mistake of going with the free 99 cheap DJ. Hosting your mixtapes costs a lot of money, absolutely, because you're getting VDub, Mixtape Bully brand, Nation Business. You're getting everything that comes with me that's going to make a person believe in you more. Because I'm going to sell you on the mixtape. You got a lot of DJs who do mixtapes to sell themselves over your mixtape. They dropping more drops about them than they are bringing your music back and emphasizing this super cold 16 that you just did and stressing through the shout outs that the people listening to the tape should know a little bit more about you by the time that tape is over. Oh, he from over there. Oh, he with them. A mixtape is your new business card. It always has been. So I always tell people, you know, watch who hosts your mixtape. You know how many mixtapes I've done that someone else did? And they came to me like, man, such and such. Man, I paid him and it was, Dub, I need you. I told you that in the first place. So, you know, watch what you pay for. If it's real, if it's for the low, the quality is probably for the low. It's keeping it real, but I will do your mixtape. You'll be missing some of your tax money. The Midwest Mixtape Bully, baby. That's what it is.
You're gonna pay to play.
How do you handle it if when someone says, well, such and such said they'll do my mixtape for this much?
Well, you better go ahead and get it. It's one of the things I stressed when I created Nation Business was that the Midwest, in particular Chicago, when I did it, it was made because there was no mixtape brand here. Like at the time, Khaled, Florida, East Coast, We the Best, of course. New York had their mixtape guys, Atlanta, Gangsta Grill. So I made Nation Business because it was cliche to Chicago. The name represented something that we all had to grow up with. And I wanted a brand that said, this is Chicago when you hear it. You know, obviously I used and pimped the radio to promote the brand, which was smart. But the brand was represented by the quality work I put out. You know, I'll still blend a whole mixtape. A lot of DJs throw your mixtape up in Pro Tools, drop a bomb in between the tracks and some drops, give it back to you. Brand new. Say they hosted your mixtape. I don't do that. You know, and I also turn down mixtapes. Some people, the music is just not good enough for my voice to be on it. You can call that arrogant if you want or whatever, but you know, you have to protect your own brand. You know, I'm not cheap. I don't want to be looked at as cheap, but the quality work I give you is timeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, from what happened with me and Bump J and LEPs and Global Gangsters and all that stuff back in the day, I didn't even realize how strong I was making my brand by doing all that hosting and putting out all those mixtapes. But after a while, I realized, like, bro, you doing mixtapes where no one else in the city sounds like you on the mixtape, nor are they doing what you take out the time to do on the mixtape. These guys are going to the studio, throwing records up in Pro Tools and dropping a bomb. And here you are blending them in, bringing parts back. Did you hear what he just said? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all into it and don't even realize somebody over here doing something for $250 and they did your tape in 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, you get what you pay for.
How do you feel about artists? Do you think they should break outside of Chicago or not even Chicago, but their home city? Or do you think they should break?
And even like, you do a lot of out of town gigs. So Mac, like, you know, I just tell artists the truth. You know how when artists in Chicago go to all these different out of town events, and Mac has heard this before too, they love to come back here and say this number one thing, man, they was rocking with me out there, Joe. They was rocking with me. And I'd be like, bro, the very minute you got back in the rental car or the plane, they are no longer playing that song in that city. You better get back here, find out what Sean Mack spit at and other people DJing, and get back to the mission of getting heard in your own city, because you was playing games with yourself. That other city has their own local artists that are breaking their neck with those DJs.
Right.
Do you think those DJs got time for you?
Right.
Like, come on, man. Backyard first. Start on your block.
Yeah.
Do it like the West Side. If your block ain't having a fee over you, you better keep working.
Yeah.
Because Mac ain't playing it unless it's popular.
Yeah, you got definitely starting at the crib.
Yeah. Your block, literally your block.
Every record I played out of Chicago, out of this country, that was from Chicago, anybody that in the audience that knew where that record came from, they knew it came from Chicago. And it was like, they knew that because you broke yourself at the crib first. So it was always, you can't start nowhere else. And cats be trying to slide to Atlanta real quick, you know, woo, and just carry the Chicago brand with them and think that's I just feel like the foundation needs to be laid. You can move around, do your thing. You know, of course, you know, I mean, I know a lot of Chicago cats live in LA, but they got to start at the crib. They got to start at the crib.
Don't you hate it?
You got to resonate. They got to bubble here.
Don't you hate when the ones that moved to Atlanta or LA reach back to you saying,
yeah,
I need you to break this back in Chicago. Meanwhile, I'm out in LA. What am I gonna do? Are you gonna come here and be in the club when the record playing? Are you gonna come here and buy the section and pop the bottles and make your own movie? Or you just think it's gonna work from LA to Chicago like that?
He out in Houston dropping records, talking about he from Chicago, but you you got to keep touch with what's happening at the crib, your presence at the crib. It just needs, you know, that's the legwork you got to put in when you trying to be coastal. It got to start at home, and it got to keep rooting from here. Everything got to be coming up out of here and, you know, going over there. Where they, you know, you go over there and you trying to reach back over here to VDub. Like, yeah, this fool been in LA 7 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Been in LA 7 years. I don't even know. Damn, I thought, nigga, I thought you, bro, I thought you know.
I thought you fell off, but you out there.
I didn't know what happened. Yeah. But you can pop it right now with the internet, the resources, you can pop off here. It's enough. It is enough. It is enough.
Look,
Momentum.
Southside Chicago has the most Black people on one side of town than any other city in the United States of America. It's the most segregated city on earth by design. You can almost say from 31st Street all the way out to Salt Trail, from the water over to Western Avenue, is Black folks. You have no business not knowing where to promote. It's just too big. Chicago is huge. That's why I tell artists to start with your block. To start with your block and then goes to your side of town, from your side of town to the other side of town. You know, you gotta start like grassroots, right out of your basement, or whatever it is, to the block, to the area, the side of town, to the other side of town.
Yeah. Well, man, listen, this is gonna be we're wrapping up right now for the WGCI Music Summit, man. Sean Mack, DJ VDub, man, we definitely appreciate your time. I hope y'all was paying attention, man. Y'all got a lot of free game tonight, and I mean, priceless information. You heard it right here from their mouths. We appreciate your time. If there was any last thoughts that you would give to an artist, what would it be? We can start with Dub.
Oh, just don't approach the DJ with money first.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, you're not gonna get a lot of DJs like me that's gonna try to, you know, change your way of doing it and train you. Because a lot of times the average DJ, if he sees or you flaunt that you got the bag, he's gonna string you along and get the bag.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just gonna be frank about it.
A lot of DJs gonna take your money, and they're gonna keep taking
frank
your money.
about it. You know, I know I'm the no payola guy when it comes to radio, but let me just tell a bunch of artists, just flat out tell you, period. The guys that take your bread to break your record on the radio for 30 days are the same guys when they get to the club, they don't touch the record that they've been paid to play. And in Chicago, if your record is not playing in the club on a regular basis, it doesn't matter what spin you got out the late night mix show on radio. It's not gonna work. They're gonna take your bread, they're gonna buy some Jordans, some expensive weed, and you're gonna be in the Jordans. You're gonna listen to your music, you and your boy listen to your record in the Chevy and in the studio, and y'all turn up with your shirts off, tatted up, skinny and all that. At the end of 30 days, you and your record, it's crickets, because it never got played in the club. Remember this, if the record was so hot to take money to play, why wouldn't they be playing it in the club too?
Or period.
Period. I just want artists to wise up. You know what I mean? I know our station is a super big corporate monster. You know, it's not about breaking records at a big place like a iHeart GCI. It's for what becomes popular. And that's why I try to tell people, you know what I mean? You want your record played on radio, but you only got technically 75 people that know you. There's no need for you to be played on a huge radio station with 250,000 listeners. Sorry, I'm probably hurt some feelings or something, but I'm just telling y'all the truth.
Yeah. Sean, last thoughts?
Yeah. Just the approach, that's it. Coming with a player approach. I rock with players, so it's like, I like the player approach and just becoming professional. That's all, man. Like like I say, I deal with it. I'm in the club every night. I'm in the club tonight. I'm in the club tomorrow. I do 5 clubs it's so I get it a lot. It'd be a whole lot. So it's just like, then, like I say, again, the approach, I don't mind telling you how to go about doing it from that point moving forward, but you always can take my email and, you know, and hit the, shoot a DM. I'll send you my email. I got one email where music go to. And like I say, I take like a day out of the week to check new music and check out what's going on and send it to me clean and dirty. I just want to, you know, see what professional. I like an artist that cleans his music up as well. I don't, you know, and be like, man, I ain't got no clean version. Damn, why not? You know, so it's just a lot for me. It's approach and professionalism, keeping that, you know, that's really, you know, that's really it. Just work on that, man. Y'all, you get so much further.
Yeah.
Just all the rah-rah, you know, it's ain't nobody listening to you, know what I mean?
Yeah. Drop your IG, somehow they can get up with you.
At DJ VDub, at DJ VDUB. The email is, everybody know the email, the mixtape bully at Gmail. Same email, 20-something years.
Mm-hmm. And Sean Mac, Sean SEAN _ MAC_. That's on Instagram. And then the email is themacshow75 at Gmail. Super simple, themacshow75. That's it.
All right, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody for rocking with us. WGCI Music Summit, making a mixtape, presented by Remy Martin, Team Up for Excellence. Mixtape's available, Greatest Fall Time Chicago edition. Go to iHeartRadio, check that out, man. Salute, love y'all, appreciate it, man. Sean Mac, VDub, man, love y'all, my brothers, all right?
Small,
all right, bro.
yes, sir.
All right, peace out.